I'm Italian. The only times I'm on time for things is when I like get the time wrong, when I think I'm supposed to be there way earlier than I'm actually supposed to be there. Because I thought I was supposed to be here at 3.
Oh, really?
That's why I texted you. I texted you, I'm on my way, because I thought I was already 10 minutes late when I was leaving.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Blessing was more late African.
Well, he's black.
Yeah.
Several days later.
The African passport system is just more difficult than the UK one. I didn't know, like, Blessing had to go to the embassy or something to apply to go to America with me next month. We're going to go do some work there. And, yeah, and so I've just found that the immigration process is a bit more difficult. So that's why I referred to them, because my African employees, I needed more help with. And, you know, I was saying in the interview that I wanted more open border policies because I wanted them to come. Again, you know, I really respect the African culture. I had no ill will or malice towards any of that. But it sounded absolutely awful. It was so cringy watching back. You know, so it was stupid. It was stupid. Okay.
All right, guys. So we got an interesting video here. Interesting topic. Involving another female red pill content creator. Now, just yesterday, I did a video about Miss Melanie King. Okay, who went on Miss Pearl Davis's podcast and was spitting some facts about the role of women, okay, when it comes to men. Okay, now that triggered the woke revolutionaries. They got upset with her, right? And now they're upset with Pearl. Okay, and the reason why they're upset with Pearl is because they're accusing her of racism, or put it this way, they're accusing her of, at the very least, platforming racism because she did an interview with Nick Fuentes, right? You know, the guy that's like banned from the internet because he's allegedly a white supremacist, even though he seems to kind of like black folks, right? He likes hanging around Kanye a lot, okay, and other black people. But I'm just saying, allegedly, again, this guy's banned from everywhere. I quite literally saw him get kicked out of CPAC with my own 2 eyes, right? It was pretty fascinating, but also kind of sad at the same time to see that you have somebody that quite literally is not allowed on any platform at any venue because his political views have been deemed to be too extreme. So anyways, Miss Pearl here was interested in interviewing Nick Fuentes, okay, because he's banned from the internet. She's like, well, what is this dude saying so bad that he can't actually be on the internet, right? I want to interview him and actually listen to people who I may disagree with, okay, which is a foreign concept in 2023. Now, the woke revolutionaries, people who, again, happen to be black, got upset with Pearl. And one of the reasons why they got upset with Pearl is because Pearl has a large black audience, okay? She also has black employees. I believe she has a black boyfriend. You know, she's kind of thriving off of black viewership, right? And, of course, that's going to create some jealousy, okay? People are not gonna like that because here we have this little white girl making money off black people, right? And again, people are gonna be jealous, they're gonna hate. Has really nothing to do with her skin color or really her sex as much as it has to do with her work ethic and the fact that she works very hard at what she does. She's clearly a smart businesswoman, but again, that comes with, you know, hate, right? And then what I mean by hate, I mean like jealousy more than anything, right? So they're accusing her of racism and platforming racism. And I want to go ahead and play some criticism of her from this one guy named Jason Black. Okay, I'm going to play 2 videos, 2 clips here of him criticizing her and why the woke revolutionary is upset. Go ahead and roll the clip.
I wonder what Miss PearlyThings thinks of African immigrants versus black Americans, specifically descendants of slaves, foundationals. I wonder what she thinks of that. If we get into the immigration discussion, I wonder what she's gonna say if you ask her about that. Brace yourselves, all of her supporters.
No. And that's not a conservative position, especially not 50 million people in 10 years.
Right.
Because America's got 300 million. So, you know, what is that? 1/6 of the population in 10 years.
And so why is that?
Why does he support that?
No, why are you against him pro? Because in my head, See, I hire people from Africa, right?
Right.
Shout out Blessing.
Yeah.
And I just see like the work ethic of people that are like not from America, and they often work harder than the people that are from America. So in my head, it's like, wouldn't it help us economically if we had more, like, if they had a certain like mindset in order?
Well, I told you were going to get your hearts and your feelings and your souls broken. There's no way you can defend her now and sit up here and say you cool with it. She just outright told you, well, they work harder than people. Now, you know she means black. I like my African immigrants. They work harder than people from America.
Very industrious.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people that would like to be a YouTuber because they'd like people.
Okay, now let me back up just a little bit more here because he's talking about people being hardworking. He's talking about people in general from various other places. I think he mentioned Germany. But I want you to get the full context of this so when she says what she says, it smacks you upside the back of the head like a cinder block.
yeah.
I was like, STEM, no. They all said I was crazy. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Austin.
Well, but you're very industrious.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people that would like to be a YouTuber because they'd like people to care about their opinions and like what they ate for lunch and, you know, things about my life that just make sense or whatever. But how many people could make a company and deal with the things you deal with, you know, like recruiting and, you know, because I mean, not on the same scale as you, but I do things and it's tough. You know, it's a business. It's fun in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, it's a business. And that is a German attribute to be industrious. I'm Italian. The only times I'm on time for things is when I like get the time wrong, when I think I'm supposed to be there way earlier than I'm actually supposed to be there. Because I thought I was supposed to be here at 3.
Oh, really?
That's why I texted you. I texted you, I'm on my way because I thought I was already 10 minutes late when I was leaving.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Blessing was more late African.
Well, he's black.
Yeah.
Where are all the folks who said I was a hater? Where are all the folks who were sitting up here saying, well, Jason, you reaching, you stretching? Where are all of them now? I want to know where all of them are after tonight. Yeah, ha, 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 he. What's so damn funny? What's so damn funny now? Oh yeah, before this is over, I'm gonna name names. What's so damn funny now? You can't lie and say you didn't see this. Jason Black has been talking about this now for over a year, for about 2 years now. And I've been naming this chick in particular. I said it from day one. Hey, she doesn't need to be given any space around here. I said it the whole time. Where are the folks who are sitting up criticizing me now? Because you gonna have to justify this. And you're going to have to justify why it is that Jason said it the whole time and you were defending it the whole time and you're just now saying something. By the way, yeah, you all thought she was going to leave it alone. That wasn't Fuentes who brought up the black people this time. He talked about him being late and then she brings up the black folk around her. You know, those cute little African that she has working for her. She's the one who brings them up.
Yeah, so you guys seen that, you heard that, okay? A lot of those criticisms are just downright ridiculous and petty, okay? And I'm going to tell you guys why, but first I want to say this. A lot of these guys that are so upset with Pearl Davis here for interviewing Nick Fuentes, they're just trying to find ways to try to bring her down because they're jealous that she is more successful than they are, right? A lot of these guys have been doing this manosphere / red pill thing for years, right? They don't have over 1 million subscribers. They're not getting the same relevance and views that she's getting. And they're jealous because she's white, right? And also because she's a woman and she came in and she dominated this space. She put in the work, okay? She actually created a podcast, okay? She has a whole, it looks like she has a studio or she rents a studio or whatever. Anyway, she produces high quality content, okay? You know, to me, I mean, it's good, right? And she's clearly doing all the things that the wokes want, right? From the white man or for white people, right? You know, hire black people, give them chances. okay, platform their voices. I mean, again, she is platforming black voices, literally, okay, platforming black voices, and they're benefiting from it. They're getting paid. They're employed. They probably have good jobs. You know, she's making money too. Again, there should be no complaints here. But again, a lot of these guys, because they're jealous, they just find this Nick Fuentes thing as, oh, you see that? See, I told you guys she was racist, right? She didn't belong in our community in the first place, right? Because she's racist. She's a closet racist, right? Again, forget her track record of, you know, all the, you know, having black employees, dating black men, being, genuinely supportive of black people. So it seems, forget all that, right? Oh, she said that African immigrants work harder than Americans, right? And it's like, well, she didn't say black Americans. She just said Americans in general, okay? Which, again, whether you agree or disagree with that, to me, that's not necessarily a slight at so-called black people, right? Or descendants of slaves, right? It's not a slight at them. She's just saying, hey, in my experience, I like my African employees, immigrant employees, because they tend to work harder. Again, whether you agree or disagree with that, I don't think that's a diss towards black folks. So anyways, she did what everybody does when, you get backlash from the mob, and she issued a groveling apology, despite the fact that, in my opinion, she did nothing wrong, right? She did nothing wrong by platforming Nick Fuentes and simply making jokes, okay? She made a joke about, okay, her African employee being late or whatever. And I'm like, what's wrong with making jokes, right? Who cares if she makes a joke about it? I joke about that all the time. I joke about black people being late, okay? I call it BST, right? You're operating on black standard time. It is what it is, man. It's totally fine to make jokes about white people not being able to cook, right, or season their food. I'm just saying, I mean, there's certain stereotypes about certain races and people make jokes about them. Who cares? But again, these people are just looking for an excuse to try to bring her down because she's more successful than them. So without further ado, let's listen to her groveling apology, which is a massive mistake in my opinion.
So, but I'm going to answer questions that people have brought my way. So the first thing is, why did you have Nick on? So, the reasoning behind having Nick Fuentes on was because I heard that he was on the no-fly list and he lost his bank account. Now, from your point of view, you would think, why would you invite someone on that's on the no-fly list, right? That would be a bad... Well, he's not anymore. That's how he flew, but he was. So I was more just curious why this man was banned on everything. Now, I've seen a lot of videos that say I play dumb or I'm playing dumb. And I'll tell you what I knew and what I didn't know. So I did know that he was a known racist. I did know he was a known sexist. I did know that basically every bad name in the book from the right and the left, everyone hated him. So the reason I had him on was because, guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from.
Yeah, that's illegal in 2023, right? You can't listen to people who you disagree with politically, okay? Or that have different opinions than you, or opinions that are deemed to be extreme, right? You can't listen to those people at all, okay? They don't have a voice, okay? Pearl's learning this the hard way.
In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was. Because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Well, your job is not necessarily to push back as an interviewer. Your job is to listen. Now, if you want to push back, fine, but I mean, that's not the point. Is to have the person on so that you can listen to their viewpoints and hear what they have to say.
I did remove the interview. I, again, did not think through a lot of the repercussions of posting that, so I just removed it.
Again, another mistake. So you removed it because of mob backlash, right? You removed it because of mob backlash, but it's still on the internet. So effectively, what did you accomplish? Nothing. You just showed that, hey, if the mob tells me to do something, they get mad at me, I'm going to do it, right? That's what you're showing.
If you do want to see the full interview, Obsidian did react to it. That's on his channel. The intention was not I guess to hide it. It was just, this might not have been the best move. I'm just going to remove it now. So again, racism has no place in society, and I do take
again, she said all the things that they say, okay, when the mob comes after you. Oh, racism has no place in society. Again, this is pathetic, man. This is worse. Okay, this is worse. If she would have stood her ground and said, you know what, I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in listening to people's opinions, even if you disagree with those opinions. And that's it, right? These are the values I believed in. I respect her a lot more than this. This is just kowtowing. This is just telling the mob that, yeah, we can quite literally just ban people from society and not let them speak at all because we find their views to be deplorable, right? This is not standing up for free speech.
Accountability for bringing him on. I made bullet points of everyone's concerns, and I'm just addressing them. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Again, if this is what you was going to do in response to backlash, you should have thought more thoroughly before you brought them on, right? But if you're going to bring them on, don't bring them on, post it, and then apologize for it. Just accept that, hey, this is what I did, and just stand on your values and principles. And the reasons why you brought them on in the first place was that, hey, I want to see what does he say that's so bad, right? And I want to talk to him and understand why he believes the things that he believes. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't owe anybody an apology for that, right? This is ridiculous.
My Africans, that part. So in the heat of the conversation, I made some remarks to my producer, Blessing. Now, Blessing is a godsend. Okay, Blessing has made the production quality literally phenomenal. He's so talented. And during this conversation, we were talking about immigration. And I said, I'm trying to get my Africans to America. Now, I watched it back, guys. It was so cringy. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing.
You were making jokes, right? There's nothing cringy or embarrassing about it. You were making jokes like a normal person, okay? Again, there's no need to try to play this, oh, well, it was cringy, it was embarrassing, I didn't like watching it when I rewatched it, blah, blah. No, you were having fun in the moment. You were making jokes just like normal people. Own it.
I met my African employees. I just said Africans. The reason is because, like, why wouldn't you just say my employees or whatever to America? The African passport system is just more difficult than the UK one. I didn't know, like, Blessing had to go to the embassy or something to apply to go to America with me next month. We're going to go do some work there. And, and so I've just found that the immigration process is a bit more difficult. So that's why I referred to them, because my African employees, I needed more help with. And, I was saying in the interview that I wanted more open border policies because I wanted them to come. Again,
you can never be woke enough, right? Yeah, you want more Africans to come here, but again, because you can never be woke enough, that's not good enough. If you say something else that they don't like, they're going to crucify you on the woke altar. Again, she's learning this the hard way.
I really respect the African culture. I had no ill will or malice towards any of that. But it sounded absolutely awful. It was so cringy watching back. So it was stupid. It was stupid. Okay. Now let's talk about my Africans was the other one. And then, the joke about Blessing being late. So one thing that they cut out from that clip was that Nick Fuentes did say after, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, clearly it's a joke, right? But the woke revolutionaries can't take jokes. Again, that's the problem.
Now, even so, it was still in poor taste. And what I didn't think about at the time was, for those that didn't see it, basically Nick Fuentes was talking about he's always late. And I said, you were on time today. Oh, Blessing was the one that's late. And it's sort of an inside joke here at JustPearlyThings. Like, Blessing is he's phenomenal, but he's a late guy. And every time he comes in, he says African time. Now,
yeah, again, what I was telling you guys, I make jokes all the time about black people being late. I call it BST, right? Black Standard Time.
Pearl me. So when I was referring to him during this joke, I was like, African. Now, I was saying African time, referring to what he says when he comes in. Now, what I realized is this was especially disrespectful because we did have someone that's a known white supremacist race. Like,
no, that has nothing to do with anything, right? You make that joke whether he's there or whether he's not there. But him being there has nothing to do with making the joke worse, right? It's just a joke. Who cares?
Making that joke in front of him, with him, is just in poor taste. I did apologize to him for it. I really had no malice or ill will. But, you know.
See, again, this is why the race issue will never solve itself. It's because of stuff like this, right? You got to walk on eggshells when you talk about certain people, certain races. But again, it's open season on people of, other races or whatever. It's just, I mean, again, what's cringe is actually this apology, right? This apology is 100 times more cringe than the actual video. It's ridiculous. I don't even want to watch any more of it because I might throw up. Don't bend the knee to the mob, right? Stop apologizing to these people. You've just given them more power and you've let them dictate, okay, this is who you can and can't bring on your own damn show. Right? Which, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, if you're trying to make money, I get it. But at the same time, if the reason why you bought him on in the first place was to hear his opinion, okay, to talk to people you disagree with, then you're kind of going against that by kowtowing to the mob for simply just having an open mind. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.